y'all? Welcome to another review by Ryan, and a very happy Wednesday to all of you. It is Wednesday, June 7th, and I hope you all are doing well wherever you're at in the world. At the time you find this reaction, I do hope everyone on the East Coast, particularly in the United States, is doing very well with your health, because as I'm recording this, we are under a air quality emergency due to a bunch of wildfires burning in Nova Scotia, so up in Canada. So yeah, I hope everyone's bearing well through that. Many of our skylines have been many different shades of orange in the last 12 to 24 hours. And yeah, if you have allergies, you probably should stay indoors. But alas, it is time to react to Oshi. I hope you all enjoyed your 1 week off. And for those who did watch the special, I hope you enjoyed the special. It was, I typically don't watch anime specials when shows go on a 1 week or 2 week hiatus. But of course, because of my love for the series, I did check out the special, which did feature the voice actors for Aqua and Ruby, and it was really well put together, really enjoyable, and it definitely gets you excited for where we're going from this point forward with the show. So in today's reaction, I'll be reacting to the 8th episode of Oshi, and the title of today's episode is First Time. Obviously you've had 2 weeks to really sit on the events of the last couple of episodes and really the entirety of the season, but especially the most recent events that were involving Akane and the fact that she attempted to take her life. And you know, one thing that I have really appreciated about Oshi as a series is their willingness to tackle these really hard and difficult subjects that many shows, even if they talk about it, they typically will kind of gloss over just enough where it brings it to the forefront, but it doesn't really show you in your face just how awful the situation can be. And so obviously in the last episode, episode 7, we did see the aftermath of Akane attempting to commit suicide and her being rescued by Aqua and all the events that played out. We saw a really just monumental breakdown that happened as, you know, her mother was back at the police station with her, and, you know, she was talking about, why didn't you, you know, tell me what was going on, that it got this bad. And it was just the fact that she didn't want to worry her. And, you know, even someone like me who fights my own layers of depression, you know, it's easy to forget that every person around us is fighting some type of inner demon. You know, you don't have to be in entertainment to be fighting inner demons, and sometimes those inner demons can just get the better of you. And, you know, people like myself, and this is coming from someone that has a lot of depression I deal with on a day-to-day basis, you know, not wanting to inconvenience those around us is something that many people who've hit rock bottom that's just what happens. You know that what you're about to do is going to hurt a lot of people, but you feel that it's an even deeper inconvenience if you stick around than if you just end it all. And so for Akane, and, you know, having to see the aftermath of that, and the fact that her mother just couldn't believe that she was fighting something so deep and dark, and the fact that the internet had just gotten so bad, it was heartbreaking to see. But it was really great to see that the cast of the show really came together in a big way after that. You know, obviously Yuki slapped the absolute hell out of her because she was just so angry and upset that first off, for really two things. First, that Akane didn't talk to her about what was going on, and that two, she probably did that out of anger to her own self because she didn't realize it had gotten that bad. And, you know, again, suicide is a really difficult subject to talk about, and it is a subject that we as a community and really just as a world need to be able to focus more on and be comfortable with talking about and bringing to the forefront. It's taken a lot of people that we love and care about deeply away from us, and you know, I've watched plenty of shows that have had suicide, that have had these type of really dark elements, but the way that Oshi has presented it in the context of this story, being that we already had the devastation that happened with Ai in the first episode, I think that they have been one of the best, if not the best, at being able to present it in a way that is tasteful, but is also direct and to the point and in your face, to make it so that you understand, as, you know, nice as this show has tried to seem, and the fact that it has idol in it and it has showbiz in it, and so when many people think about idol and showbiz, they just completely are like, yeah, this isn't for me. You know, they've done a really great job balancing bringing something like this to the forefront and keeping the audience engaged, while also being able to talk about the lighthearted elements too that you are used to out of shows like Love Live, for example. So I'm really pleased with the last episode, you know, and I was even more so pleased with the fact that Aqua went above and beyond to really help rebrand her and to get the naysayers and all the hateful people off of her back by being able to take footage that had been recorded and to manipulate it and put it in a way that would put her in a much better light, and that the cast does care about each other. And it was a really nice video, and I think it really did mean a lot to Akane. Now, of course, what everyone's been talking about is the events that happened in the last 60 seconds when Akane came back, did her apology that she didn't owe anybody, because I still don't feel she owed anyone a damn apology. I think that entire management team completely failed her, including her own high management. Not her person who's immediately over her, but the person that was sitting there yelling about her that ultimately led to her just completely giving up on herself. After she did her apology, we did see that she did a lot of research, because they were, talking about, if she wanted to basically, give back or feel that she owes Aqua, she could basically take on a persona of his ideal girl. And of course, we all know who his ideal girl is. That is none other than I herself. And so this girl walks up in the last 60 seconds of the show and completely made all of us fall heads over heels for her, because she studied to a T, and literally what seems like a single night, all the different personas and the different little nuances of Ai's personality, even things I don't even think I really realized about herself. And this girl walks back up there and is only the second character in this show to have the eyes. So it was really a treat to get to see. I really, really enjoyed every element of the last episode, and I'm very conflicted. I'm with him. I'm just as conflicted, because now you can only imagine what he feels. Literally, this girl is the spitting image now, even though it might just be when she's in that persona, but she is now the spitting image of the girl that he loved, he admired, he was the doctor of, and that was taken from us far too soon. And that is where the show left off at. So I have been completely glowing about the presentation of this show as someone that has worked and does still work in the industry, has worked with some of these seiyus, knows the inner struggles that many of these seiyus go through, and know the struggles that management goes through on the back end. This has definitely continued to deliver week after week, and I'm just ready to see where we go from this stage forward. So before we start today's reaction, I do want to take a few moments to talk about the performance of the show and some of the critique of the show. So first, the rating check of Oshinoko. Oshinoko continues to deliver, and at the time of this video, it is a 9.01 out of 10 on my anime list. It actually, at the conclusion of episode 9, went as far as 9.04 before the rating did start to mellow back out, and that's because there are people who are intentionally, if the rating starts going back up again, they're going to attack it back down. So that's okay. What does concern me a little bit is some of the critique. So if you were to go to my anime list, for example, right now, and look at some of the ratings, the top 3 reviews that are present right now actually are all not recommended ratings. And as I read through very long sermons that were given by these individuals, it all comes down to one very simple thing. People, especially on this side of the world, don't think very highly of shows with idol elements, with showbiz elements, with entertainment elements. And many times, if a show like this does get popular, it's because it does something that is classified as shock value, which in this show's case, obviously, is the events that happened in the first episode and the events that happened in the last 2 episodes with Akane trying to kill herself. And many of the negative things really is just the fact that the show is trying too hard to be relevant. And in another review, they just outright said this show is not an accurate representation of the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry has gotten a whole lot better, and this show is trying to do something that it doesn't need to do, and it's awful, and it gets a 2 out of 10. And these complaints typically are not followed up with anything that actually is factual. So what I will say is I fully respect the fact that entertainment shows and idol-based shows are not everybody's cup of tea. And what I can tell by these reactions is they fell for the trap. And the trap is that this is just an idol show. This is not just an idol show. This is a show that is representative of the entire entertainment industry as a whole. And not only just the entertainment industry in Japan, but truly the entertainment industry as a whole. It represents Hollywood, it represents Bollywood, it represents any realm of entertainment that involve people that can be classified as celebrities. And it shows what these people go through on a day-to-day basis. Now, I really do believe some of the most recent negative reactions are a direct response to the Hana situation. Now, I said I wasn't going to speak about that anymore, but reading some of the reactions, I think it is very important to say I think the Hana situation and her mother speaking out about her concerns about the story that showed in episodes 7 and 6, pretty much pound for pound following the events that happened to her daughter, it did trigger quite a number of people. And as a result, many of those people took that frustration when they came to write their reviews. And fully understandable. And if that's where these people, if you're one of the people who did that and that's where you want to write at, I'm not going to hit you for it. I am going to say, though, that I think that this show has shown great respect and care to portraying and showing these different stories and the different and the true atmosphere that exists. And I just want you to continue your journey through this show with an open mind, that the things that you've seen in Love Live, the things that you've seen in even Idolmaster, and Idolmaster has actually done a better job than something like Love Live in tackling the things that can happen on a day-to-day life. But I don't think any show has truly in your face really forced you to pay attention to what really goes on quite as well and quite as direct as Oshi no Ko. And this is a veteran team that is running this show, a very veteran team with an author that knows how to present really great stories. So these people know what they're doing, and I think that they've personally done a phenomenal job of what's been presented, but I also can respect the sensitive nature and that for some people, some of the elements that are shown in the show and will probably continue to be shown throughout its running may just not be for you. So I treat all these reactions with all these reviews with a grain of salt. And I understand where some of them are coming from, even if I fully don't disagree, even if I don't really agree. I personally think this is a perfect show, based on the grounds of the things that I've already talked about over the last 7 episodes. But again, it's open dialogue, and as long as you all respect each other, I have no issues with people who may have a different opinion from my own. And, you know, we're just going to continue this rodeo to the end, and we'll see how things end off. To be fair, I really think that my biggest concerns aren't going to come this season. There's nothing really for me that's going to jeopardize my 10 out of 10 for this season at this point. However, the second season could be where things get a little tricky, because I can only assume that's when we're really going to start digging into who the mastermind behind her death actually was, learning about the father, who the true father is, and you know what all of her connections were with these people, because it's already been hinted by the producer that Aqua's working with now that she was involved with things behind the scenes that may have been unsavory. So that's where things are going to really start coming together, and where I'm really going to say if this is a masterpiece show and it's going in my top 10, or if my top 10 may have been a little bit misguided. But regardless of where it ends off, this is definitely one of the most talked about, one of the most popular, and quite frankly, going to be one of the most cherished shows, regardless of what side of the scale it ends up with on for you. It's going to be one of the greatest shows of this generation, of this time. So, I did also want to give a very big congratulations, and this will be my last part I say before we start today's reaction, to YOASOBI and their success with Idol. Idol is, at the time of this recording, in first position on the Billboard Global Ranking. Now, this global ranking does not include the United States. It's not included or factored into their rating, but I know that the song has been doing really, really great. And for those who've been living under a rock, Idol is the opening song to Oshi no Ko, and it has been a song that has been dissected and reviewed by so many music engineers, artists, and just so many different people in the musical element of things in so many places in the world. Everyone knows what Idol is now, even if they don't watch anime. And I just want to give a really big kudos to YOASOBI. They've done a phenomenal job. The opening and ending song to this show is absolutely sublime. Again, and we can't take away enough from Queen Bee's song, because the ending song is equally superior in its own right to Idol. So just a wonderful show. This is a show that shows what great management, great leadership behind the scenes, great voice actors, great story writing, and just overall, it just shows what every anime could be with a little bit of effort and a little bit of care. So that's what I got to say. Sorry, coming back 2 weeks. it's always hard when I have to refresh back on all the events that have happened. So if I was jumping around here and there, many apologies, but you guys can tell I really love this show. I've loved the show the entire run, and I'm ready to see how the last 4 episodes of this season are going to play out. So enough chat. I'm going to go ahead and get the episode pulled up. Now, for those of you that do care, the next segment before we start the reaction is actually going to be my top 10 check-up. If you want to listen to my dialogue for that, then please listen to the next segment. If you don't, please click on the appropriate chapter in the video, and it will take you straight to the reaction video for today's video. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys in a quick moment for the reaction of the 8th episode of Oshi no Kobo. See you in a moment. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Reviews by Ryan channel, and I hope you all are doing well wherever you're at in the world at the time you find this video. It's been about 2 weeks since, well, almost a month since I've done the top 10 video check-in, so I figured this was a good time before I do my reaction to Oshi no Kobo today to go ahead and drop in what's going on with my top 10. So as you guys can see, and if you didn't see from the video that I posted about 12 hours ago, my top 10 hasn't really changed much. I know that I did end up putting Birdie Wing into the number 10 spot, but it has been replaced temporarily with My Home Hero. I'm very intrigued with everything that's shaping up in My Home Hero right now, but I also think that the revelations of how that final showdown is going to go between our dude that's been trying to protect his family and the mafia, which now looks like the dude is going to try to go after him to at least be able to get back since the tides have turned now. I've been very interested and intrigued in the show. It has definitely not been a perfectly executed show, but it's had many good moments to it. Also, we probably have one of the best wives of this season because his wife is an absolutely legendary person, just absolutely legendary, probably one of my best characters of the season, even if the story itself may be mediocre in nature. So it is back in the number 10 spot. Right now, you'll probably see My Home Hero, Birdie Wing, and What's the other one? Oh, A Galaxy Next Door. You'll probably see the three of them compete for the number 10 spot, and I'll talk more about that when we do get to the final rating check-in for the season. Outside of that, as far as the middle of the pack goes, Ancient Magus Bride, My Love with Yamada, I'll Know Orchestra has kind of rotated, and it's kind of stayed where it needs to be. Hell's Paradise has just rode the middle spot the entire season. No changes there. I think the biggest drop on this list actually was Heavenly Delusions, which has fallen 2 spots, and then The Dangers of My Heart, which actually now sits right behind Insomniac's After School. I gotta tell you, The Danger in My Heart, a show that started off really cringeworthy, started off with a middle schooler who wanted to kill this girl that he was infatuated with. Not really in that way, but it turned into that way. It's been real nice watching their growth. I've really, really enjoyed this second half of the season. It's been really enjoyable. Yamada, another Yamada, we just have so many Yamadas this damn season. Anna has really taken active. She's really gone active, and she's really taking aggression, trying to express what she wants now. She may be a weird girl that has some weird tendencies, but she's a good-natured girl, and as she said in the last episode, she wants his eyes on her and only her. And it's really been fun getting to watch that show, and I can't believe it's gotten as high in my ratings as it has, but I do believe it is, at this present moment, my number 4 show based on the most recent episode, and it now sits right behind Insomniacs. And so, with that said, my top 3, there's only been 2 times this season that Oshi no Ko has been ousted out of the number 1 spot. And after the revelations of This Week in Mobile Suit Gundam, the complete political nightmare that is developed, the great fight between Ghoul and Shodek, all the deaths that transpired, the conversation, the really embraceful and very bittersweet conversation that happened between Elon and Noria until her unfortunate demise happened shortly after, and of course all the way to the end when Petra, another damn Petra, ended up losing her life, and just having to watch the just sheer amount of struggle and chaos that has broken out with Soletta as she's trying to really get a grasp of everything that's happened around her. Even though Oshi no Ko is going to end up in my number 1 spot for the season, I already know that for a fact. I always want to give credit where credit's due, and I do believe, especially since Oshi no Ko had a 1-week hiatus this past week, that this past 7 days, The Witch from Mercury was easily the strongest show, and it has earned for the second time this season a spot in my number 1 spot in my top 10 list. So I'm interested to see how you guys feel about the shows that are on my list. What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And with that said, there probably won't be another rating checkup until the end of the season, since I don't see much changing here at this point. I'll probably post on my community posts how things are going. Oshi no Ko will probably take back over the number 1 spot, and that's probably where it will ride till the end. But right now, Oshi no Ko and The Witch from Mercury are definitely competing for number 1. And, it's funny that I'm even saying competing now, because the entire season I've told you guys that Oshi no Ko is definitive in the number 1 spot. But there have been times where The Witch of Mercury has really tugged at my heartstrings in a way that has made me want to put it in number 1. Now again, because of the unique nature of Oshi no Ko and because I am involved in that industry, my heart and my soul and the way that story has been presented is going to keep Oshi no Ko in number 1. But let there be no doubt, The Witch from Mercury has been an elite show in its first and second season, and this has just been a phenomenal thing to watch. And I do believe that Oshi no Ko, The Witch from Mercury, and Insomniac's After School, for reasons I've already expressed, and Insomniac's After School, I mean, what's there to say? That has been such a wholesome journey to watch. We're about to have a little bit of turbulence here as we got to meet our girl's sister, who wants to join them for their camping trip that they're going to be taking with what was supposed to be 2 people that will now be 3 people. But I really do think that the sister's actually probably going to be the final nail in the coffin to egg her along. She's going to be teasing the whole time, but I think she's really going to push them in the direction that they need to go. Insomniac's After School has been a phenomenal rom-com to watch, and out of the rom-coms, it is at the present moment my favorite one to watch this season. And so I do think that Oshi no Ko, The Witch from Mercury, and Insomniac's After School will be my top 3 anime for this season, barring any major changes. So that's my check-in, guys. Again, it's been a blast getting to watch so many great shows. Again, I'm watching over 20 shows this season, and it's been an absolute wonder just getting to watch everything. I'm not going to get to finish all 20 shows, unfortunately, so when I do my final rating checkup, you'll probably see a few of them will not be present. But It's been a great season, guys. It's been a great spring season. I hope you all have been having an absolute blast with the shows that are out. So, with that said, that's all I wanted to give you a check-in on. And so, for those of you who are watching this video in conjunction to my Oshi reaction, it is now time for today's reaction. See you in a moment. All right, y'all, I am back. Thanks if you did watch the top 10 reaction checkup. Thanks for watching that too. But I'm ready to go ahead and get this episode started now. Again, the title of today's episode is First Time. As an FYI, you'll see I am not using the bulky headphones I normally use. I am using wireless pieces today. So this is the first time I've used this set for the reaction. And the last time I did wireless bud, there was a little bit of a latency issue. So if something, my mouth or whatever, doesn't seem to add up, many apologies about that. This is a test for this particular week, and if it doesn't work out, I'll be back to the bulky headphones next week. So let's go ahead and get this episode started. And 3, 2, 1. I look forward to seeing more about Mimcho too. She seemed alright. Alright, looks like so far. There's like a really tad bit of latency, but nothing really bad. It should be okay. I cannot wait till the idol group comes to be though. But damn, after the last 2 episodes, that is a hard performance to come after now. Oh my goodness. Yo, the chills I had last week. A whole ghost! Yes! She's never been better. Look at her shining! Yo! This is wild. Yo, fuck the staff. That's wild. She literally studied to a letter. A genius actress. This is wild. Bruh, he is mesmerized right now, as we all are. Like, to a letter. Yo, my man is struggling right now. Damn, Akane. Damn. You came up in here and just wrecked his heart in literally seconds. Oh, and now they're going, okay, that's only when she's in her, yep, there we go. All right, so that confirms that. Only when she's in that persona. That's fine. That's a lot more accurate. Oh my goodness. I'm done with y'all. Oh hell. Well, I mean, it is a reality show at the end of the day, which eventually I would get sick of too, but yeah. I swear, Kana is so to the point and direct about this type of stuff. I'm so done with her. I'm sure even exactly. There's it's wild. And so finally, you're going to tackle that because you never did actually call her. You never called her mother, not once, if I remember correctly. Which is something that everyone had been talking about starting episode 2. Yeah, y'all better put some respect on her name, though. Don't ever talk about her like that again. Oh boy. Oh shucks. Even though I hate to say it, my girl, I listen. Y'all know how much I love Connor. I've loved her since she came back. Asking to skip school. Well, shit. That probably just made her day. Look at her. You know that just made your whole day, my girl. Uh huh. Uh huh. Which is funny because I saw a lot of people in their uniforms when I went to Tokyo Disneyland back in my trip, which I did not expect to see. What the hell? Aqua, what are we doing? Well, hey, it still could be somewhat fun and cheap, and not you just going to an outlandish place like Tokyo Disney in the middle of a school day. Wow. Nope, you sure haven't. Stick to your day job. Stop. Yeah, I mean, that might have been true for everyone except one person. Hey, don't be giving her that type of idea though. She's gonna think she has a chance now. Hey, that was a good throw. I don't know if you could say that after what just transpired the other day. Right. Which is also why when people were questioning why he couldn't do something for I when she died, it's because even though he was reborn, he mentally just, he wasn't there yet. As he takes on his own persona now. You have no idea. See this? Kinda. Ah! Well, at least this is a nail in the coffin. This confirms it right there. Yo, I love when they hit kind of with the little glow up when they be doing stuff like this. Like, I have a friend who keeps asking me who's my favorite between the two, and, you know, I mean, that might. Oh, well, shit. Prove me wrong. Which we knew that, and I'm glad that you've accepted you're seeing the ghosts, but wasn't all that impressive, girl. You had both eyes going. They don't even have both eyes going yet. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Calm yourself! Calm yourself, Aqua! Calm yourself! Oh, my lord. He's like, this girl knows too much. She has to be removed. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. But yet this girl that's before him has literally just been able to put it all together. But that's just because she just has that natural talent and ability. Oh, damn. No, you ain't. Oh, shit! Oh, man. So he did go for it. Oh, man. Well, this is about to be complicated. Oh, man. But it does make sense that he would use her in that way, though, because at the end of the day, he doesn't see. Oh. Oh, don't be that way. You already know this is what the industry is like. I actually didn't think that we'd have the full kiss happen on camera though like that though. I'm so done. Yeah, and I mean, it is starting to become slightly more acceptable in this day and time now compared to what it used to be 20 years ago. So I guess it wouldn't be that much of a surprise. Mm. Shoot, half of the people were on this staff. Exactly, you're probably one of them. Yeah, now give me what I need. Yeah, because you shitty people aren't going to do it. Not my problem. This man said if you value your life, you better calm that down. Uh, I don't know. I still really don't trust that man, even though he has been ruled out for now. I don't think he is, but I do think we're getting very close to where we need to be. I mean, God, I'm in such a yeah, I'm in such a struggle because I do. See, yeah, if he was to just suddenly jump into it, then it would be completely out of his character. Oh, they did. Oh, okay, so it did happen. Hey, good for her. Hope it works out. Even though I trust no one and nothing here. Also, I'm still very interested in her. I really do not feel that she is who she presented herself to be on this show. Yeah, yeah. Also, that's another thing that might see. Who is she? And there we go. But also, if that's the case, then that definitely means that she's, yeah. And she would definitely mesh well. I just want to know what her, like, really about her past. Now that she's given off that she used to want to get into it, and he's not playing. And of course, we already know that nobody can say no to Aqua. We all saw how Connor reacted when he got out on his knee and was like, hey, you should join. All right, so yeah, I definitely want to know more about her past. I also, and again, I don't know anything about the source material. I don't buy that she's a high schooler. I don't know what it is. Something that seems very different about her compared to everyone else that was presented. So, no spoilers if I'm on the right path or not. But I think that we've been lied to and bamboozled about her real identity. Okay, so thoughts about this episode. And first, these actually worked out quite nicely. I'll admit I didn't really have too many issues with them. So I guess I'll keep using these if everything goes well with the video. So thoughts. We did wrap up the show obviously, and there was more dialogue about her taking on the persona of I and everything that she went through. Now we did get confirmed that she didn't permanently gain I's entire demeanor, and that would be a little too much. So that's one positive that I like, because there were some people that were saying, well, if she just adopted I completely and she's going to be in her personality both on screen and off screen, then that's kind of not something that we're really going to enjoy seeing. Well, it's something we'll enjoy seeing, but it'll just seem like we're trying to repeat an act that can't be repeated. And so the fact that she just has this demeanor for the show, because that's what she does. does well. Again, she's well known for being able to read a script and just completely develop into that personality pretty much what seems to be overnight, but that she still is her own person. I personally enjoy that because, again, there can only be one I. There can be many repeaters and copycats, but there can only be one I. So very happy to see that that's how that was handled. And overall, I just really liked how they wrapped all of that up. Now, of course, we did get further confirmation that Kana definitely has feelings now, so that's pretty much set in stone at this point. And now we're getting ready to start diving into the other side of the entertainment industry as a whole. Now, they talked a little bit about relationships and, interagency relationships, work relationships, real life relationships, and what tends to happen after these type of dating shows wrap up. And that is pretty much pound for pound how it goes in real life. You do have many people who are on like bachelorette shows and stuff like that their relationship may be real for a very small period of time, and then it will end up just completely falling apart, which really the falling apart is just the natural breakdown of it, because they want to let the people have faith in something for a couple of months, let them feel good, and then break it all apart. Now, the work relationship, which they are going to be in a romantic relationship for work purposes, it's going to get a little complicated now. And so, obviously you have Kana that's going to be working in the same agency that he's going to pretty much be heading over with his sister, but you also are going to have Akane, who, while she's not going to really be on that agency side of things, on the idol side of things, it seems like she does have a genuine interest and investment in Aqua. And it's important that we remember that that is normal and natural in the context of why this is happening. Aqua saved her life. We would have been robbed of another main character had it not been for Aqua's intervention. And when people like that do intervene, it can create an emotion of wanting to give back, of owing, and for her, she owes him her entire life. So naturally, it's going to be present that she's going to be very invested in him, very intrigued in him, and wanting to be an ideal person to him. But in this case, it definitely also appears that, romantic interest definitely is there. I'm pretty confident that if he had actually said he wanted this to be more than a work relationship, she would have 100% obliged to that. But that is obviously going to cause issues, but those issues will probably be dealt with much later in time, and we may not get to dealing with those issues in this particular season, since of course we have now 3 episodes remaining. So now this does bring us back to the forefront of why Aqua even participated to start with, which is to get more answers on I, the people who were working with I, and the relationships that she might have been engaged with while she was in her agency and working on these different contracts and working with these different people. And so, I think that now that we are wrapped up, I'm actually glad. I think this was an appropriate point to wrap up the reality TV show. We're now going to start getting back to the root of what we are here for. And of course, out of this episode, we have now gotten Mincho that appears she is going to accept the offer from Aqua to join Strawberry Productions and basically be an idol with Ruby and Kana. So this is going to be really interesting seeing how this all plays out, and I do believe that we're now going to get some more insight into Mincho as a character. Now, like I said, I do believe that we've kind of been lied to about her personality and her background. I do believe that she is a little older than she's given herself off to be. There's just certain things that she's given off so far throughout this show that lead me to believe that she may be putting on a persona of her own, and that part of that persona may be her entire background and age. Because as he said, she has really good knowledge about the agency that I was a part of and everything that transpired, and just a little bit too much knowledge. And he even called it out there at the end when they were walking, having their conversation leading to the invitation. And so, now we're going to get to see a little bit more into her, and we'll obviously be bringing the story back to Strawberry Productions, which also will probably start bringing things back more towards Ruby. So a lot of interesting things that have played out here. And again, this first season is really setting the stage for what I do believe is going to be a multi-season show. I'm very invested. I really did enjoy this episode, and this was a great episode to wrap things up for the series as a whole. So the last thing that I'll say here, and I'm sure I'm forgetting parts here and there, because I always, I'm never going to be 100% on remembering everything pound for pound. But the last thing I will say is about his decision to use Akane, obviously he wasn't going to let her go, and obviously I know some people are going to look at that and be like, oh wow, you're an Ash, you're no better than the people in the agency that you were just calling out for not caring about talents. And I can see that, and I can understand looking at it that way. Again, it is important to understand that there is a reason I don't actually classify Oshi no Ko as a rom-com, because I think that that is a distraction from the goal at hand here. This man wants to get back at the person who robbed Ai of her life, and that caused him to fail multiple times in his endeavor to protect her smile. And that is at the heart of it what this is all about. You know, he obviously wants to protect Ruby with every bit that he can. He remembers her past. He knows who she is. And she died a very, very, very unfortunate death. And she was only 12, 13 years old in her previous life. So he has great protection over Ruby. And he wants to protect the only person that he has left to Ai at this point. And then, of course, he wants to get back once and for all the people who robbed her from the entire world and robbed her from them. And that's really where things are at the end of the day. The romance elements are great to watch, and it's always great to kind of, you know, bet on who's going to get who, but that's not really what the ultimate focus is going to be at the end of the day. And so I will always remind you guys each and every week that while it's fine rooting for Kana, rooting for Akane, I do believe both are going to probably end up heartbroken in the end. Even though if I had to say who he's probably going to have the better chance with, even though this episode would lead you to believe it's actually Kana, I still believe it probably would be Akane, and that's just based on things that were brought on screen that we saw this episode and things that I believe we're going to get as time goes on. So that's my initial raw thoughts about everything. It was another phenomenal episode for what has been a phenomenal show. No changes in my ratings, no changes in my thoughts. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here because I do have to get ready for a shadow training session soon with this team that's replacing my job, and that brings me to the last thing I wanted to let you know. Next week's episode will probably be delayed. I don't 100% know that just yet, but as of this current moment, next Wednesday, I am officially being laid off from my job. So it's going to be a very turbulent day next Wednesday. I don't know how my schedule is shaping up just yet. So as of right now, you should assume there will be a delay of a day, which means the episode probably won't be ready until that Thursday. If I am able to get it done on Wednesday, phenomenal, but don't expect it. So that said, that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like the video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And if you want to be one of the first to be notified when a new reaction becomes available, hit the bell icon. So I'll see all of you wonderful people either next Wednesday or Thursday for the 9th episode of Oshi no Ko. And until that time, catch you later.